You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't predict the future, but it can help you feel confident about future hires. Because Hiring Pro combines real-time insights and candidate data from the LinkedIn network with the criteria you've set for your role to deliver you a list of top-fit candidates. Businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Hey there, Stackers. Happy Friday. Well, grocery store prices aren't getting cheaper. And today, Janice Torres is an expert at cooking great food. I can personally attest. So is Len Penzo. Dude makes the best lasagna ever. They're joining a roundtable discussion. If you're new here, what happens on our roundtables? Well, on Monday and Wednesday, we are all about concepts and experts. But on Friday, we normally have this really chatty, just discussion with some of the finest bloggers and podcasters in the business. So it's like you get to sit at the table with these people and kind of be a fly on the wall as they talk about today, saving money on groceries, making better food, all together. But before we dive into this grocery store and World of Food episode, I've got two calendar events I want to point out. First, next Thursday, we have a YouTube event. Been forever since we've had one of those. May 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Why most retirement calculators suck, how to make it your superpower. Man, the people at Bolden make a fantastic retirement calculator, and we're going to talk about whether you use their calculator or not. I don't care. I just want to make sure you don't make mistakes while you're plotting out your timeline. If you've read my book, you know how important I think building your financial timeline is. Steve Chen is the CEO over at Bolden, and he's going to join me to dive into this episode. And Steve joined us a few years ago. We had a few hundred people join us online. Really robust, took some great questions from the audience, and he also walked through some steps that you don't want to miss. So join us live next Thursday, May 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. The link to go to so that we send you the reminder and you're on the list, stackingbenjamins.com/Bolden 2025. And you spell Bolden, Boldin 2025. Then on Tuesday, just a few days, 5 days after that, May 20th, I'm going to be in Boston. Come hang out with other stackers, my daughter Autumn, and me at Idle Hands Craft Brews in Malden. That's going to be at 6:30 p.m. Sign up at stackingbenjamins.com/meetup. Love coming back to Boston. We're going to have a lot of fun on Tuesday, the 20th. So lots going on in Mom's Basement. But the big thing going on, we're taking you back to just after the pandemic for this fantastic Greatest Hits episode with Janice Torres, Len Penzo, OG, Doug, and me, and some jokes. I remember even planning this episode, something that we really don't want to joke about. Who called this a holiday? Well, you'll find out in just a second what I'm talking about with holidays. Steve, hit the play button. You may not know that when we started Stacking Benjamins, it was a blog, and even then, just the startup cost, I remember thinking, is this the right thing? And what if I write things and nobody comes, right? Well, luckily, that didn't end up happening. But starting something new isn't just hard. It's terrifying. There's so much work. You're not sure whether it's going to work out. You're not sure if anybody's going to read it. And then we change it to a podcast. Is anybody actually going to listen, right? What if nobody wants all the stuff that we have? Well, had I used Shopify, it would have been even easier, because with their expertise, their helpful tools, and their easy-to-use platform, that's something that would have made Stacking Benjamins more effective much, much more quickly. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Names you've heard of like Heinz and Mattel, Shopify, Gymshark, Aviator Nation, Allbirds, also all Shopify. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button? It's used by millions of businesses around the world. It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. It also helps boost conversions, meaning less carts going abandoned and more sales for you. So you're stacking Benjamins much more quickly. Time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/SB. Go to shopify.com/SB. That's shopify.com/SB. Dell PCs with Intel Inside are built for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. They're for those all-night study sessions, the moment you're working from a cafe and realize every outlet's taken, the times you're deep in your flow and can't be interrupted by an auto update. That's why Dell builds tech that adapts to you. Built with long-lasting batteries so you're not scrambling for an outlet, and built-in intelligence that makes updates around your schedule, not in the middle of it. Find technology built for the way you work at Dell.com/Dell PCs. Built for you.
What a filthy job.
Could be worse.
How?
Could be raining.
Live from Joe's mom's basement, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and according to this crazy calendar Joe's mom got me, happy Tuberculosis Day. Are you kidding me? Who made this a holiday? Yeah, we're all gasping with excitement for this special day. Does your grocery bill make you wheeze? Well, you can breathe easier because today we'll help you drop those food expenses. Had enough of those breathing jokes? Yeah, that's two of us. Joining us for a budget trimming discussion, we welcome the host of the Yo Quiero Dinero podcast and founder of the Financial Freedom Summit, Janice Torres. Plus, say hello to our regular lecturer of money matters and a guy who sucks the air out of the room. Okay, that's gotta be the last TB joke. Marcus Welby, MD. Nah, he's too busy fixing his iron lungs, so instead we just have his older brother, Len Penzo. And finally, a resident cost-cutting expert who hasn't seen the inside of a grocery store since the dawn of Instacart, OG. But that's not all. Halfway through the show, we'll see which panelist has enough wind left in them. Oh my God, they just keep coming to get my trivia question. And now, a guy who certainly knows how to go cheap. It's Joe Saul-Sehy.
Hey there, stackers, and happy Friday to you. I am Joe Saul-Sehy, Average Joe Money on Twitter, and tuberculosis jokes never get old. Never, no, just horrible. That is just. Who made this a holiday, Doug?
An angry, angry person.
Like when we were looking up today, like we've got a very special guest today. And we're like, okay, we have to have a very special holiday. And then we see that it's, maybe the worst holiday ever.
She looks unamused at the moment over the tuberculosis humor.
I'm just like, this is so morbid. My God.
It's just horrible.
There's so much more, Janice. You just settle in.
I don't really know what I signed up for here. I'm starting to question.
We could go way lower. We're about to introduce her in a second, but we'll have our special guest go last. First of all, let's say hello to the man across the card table from me. He had 2 shots of espresso, and he's ready to roll. Mr. OG is here.
Ready to do it.
Yeah.
Just one espresso, but it had sugar in it. No. So it's like 2.
Doug said you have not been in a grocery store since Instacart came around. Is that true or false?
I went to the grocery store a couple of weeks ago, but that started the Girl Scout thing because I was going on, I think, Valentine's Day, and I didn't make it in, like, there's the airlock where you walk in and then there's like a little space for the carts and then you walk in more. And it happened that the Girl Scouts were right there. So I didn't have to go all the way in. I was like, oh, cookies. Perfect. Happy Valentine's Day. I got you cookies.
That was a close one.
Yeah.
Who needs groceries? You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner covered by the Girl Scouts.
I saw there's a Whole Foods by me. I've been meaning to explore.
He's like, I wonder what that is. What's in that building? And the guy who cooks a delicious lasagna, I know because I've had it, Mr. Len Penzo is here. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. You know, I've been going to my grocery store quite regularly. I noticed the past few weeks my favorite checker wasn't there and hasn't been there for a while.
Oh no!
So that got it was kind of disturbing, and I asked what had happened, and the manager told me that she just checked out.
Oh,
But
oh God! Oh man!
We all saw it coming 30 seconds away, but we had to just sit there and take it.
Even Janice scowled at that one, so that's pretty bad. When the guest is scowling.
Dad jokes 101.
Well, Len, your dad jokes are the second best gift somebody can give. You know what the best joke is?
Silence.
No, well, that's probably the real answer. But the answer I'm going to give you is a broken drum because you just can't beat it. Come on. And seriously wondering if we can go lower. And yes, we can. It's about time we got her here. We've been threatening to do this for a long time. From the Yo Quiero Dinero podcast and a fellow Plutus winner. We were comparing our little trophies earlier. Janice Torres is here. How are you?
I'm so excited to be here. This energy is just next level. I can't even wrap my head around it right now.
She's like, oh yeah, you have no idea. She's like,
don't.
she's calling her agent right now going, I have no idea what the hell you got me into. Well, tell everybody first, because you've got a big special event coming on that I want to talk about in a second, but let's talk about your award-winning podcast. Tell everybody about Yo Quiero Dinero. What do you do?
I talk about entrepreneurship, investing, building generational wealth, all from the lens of being a first-gen Latina who didn't learn anything about money and kind of had to navigate the world of adulting with money on my own. I found myself having lots of conversations with peers and friends, and nobody knew what was going on. You know, we're told to go to college, get a career, make some money. There's this thing called a 401k. It sounds like it's something we should have. And
it sounds like a long way to run is what it sounds like.
And after kind of getting into the personal finance space as a consumer, especially with podcasts, podcasts like Journey to Launch and Stacking Benjamins, of course, I found that there was still kind of a void when it comes to my experience as a Latina. And so I decided to just insert myself into the conversation and start my podcast from the closet of my home. And here I am 4 years later doing this full time. Just got on the internet, started talking about money.
It's so great. And Janice, seriously, how do we get more voices? Because we seriously need more.
I think it's kind of happening because people are seeing folks that they can identify with kind of showing up in a space, right? So if you want to inspire others to join the conversation, you have to be part of it too. That's what I found time and time again. I get messages from so many people that it's like, wow, I didn't know I could invest. I didn't know what a 401k was. I didn't know I could start a business. But then I started seeing you and all the guests that you bring on the show talking about this stuff. And I started to believe that these are things that I can do too. So it's really about showing up for the people that you want to serve.
You, by the way, not only have served this community, the financial community, we're going to talk food today. And I believe you've done a lot with food, right?
Yeah, that's how I started my whole content creation journey as a blogger now 10 years ago. I started a food blog called delishdelights.com. It's still in existence today. And in it, I've basically archived my family's culinary history. It was just something that I started as a passion project. I was kind of frustrated with my engineering career and wanted to do something more creative. And so blogging was the thing that I found I didn't want people to know who I was. I just wanted to create cool content. And I think that's why people start blogs and also podcasts. But now we've got the whole video and TikTok. And I'm like, well, so much for that, kind of got to show up now.
I hear you on that. I understand that whole theory.
I just don't dance well enough for TikTok. I don't know. I don't. But we got one more thing we want to tell people. We're going to talk about this a lot at the end of today. But you've got a summit coming up. Tell everybody about this because tickets are going fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So after starting and basically growing my platform during the pandemic where virtual was the only option, my audience has started to clamor for in-person events. They want to be in the atmosphere of Yo Quiero Dinero in a more personal way. And so this year, actually June 2023, we're launching our first live conference in Puerto Rico, which is where I'm from. And I wanted to bring a conversation around building wealth to a place that has been historically marginalized and economically depressed for a long time. So I have this vision of bringing a bunch of people together to talk about building wealth in a place that could really use a lot of folks like myself and others who care about not just making money for the sake of making money, but using it to make a difference. So it's going to be a 3-day event, bringing in lots of amazing speakers, talking about everything from investing, entrepreneurship, real estate, generational wealth, and so much more. And I'm really, really excited. It's called Our Money, Our Power. And it's a financial freedom summit to hopefully change the narrative around what wealth can look like.
And, we'll have a link on our show notes page to it at stackingbenjamins.com if people want to either find out more or just sign up. You had me at Puerto Rico, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a hard bargain.
I know. I'm thinking coffee. I'm thinking the pork highway. I'm thinking salsa dancing. I'm like, let's go right now. I am there.
Oh, you know your stuff. I love it.
Oh, my, just heaven. Just heaven. We have Janice here. We've got Len. We got Doug. We've got OG. We're talking all things food today. Now, let's go talk food. Our piece today comes to us from commonsensehub.com. 12 keys to drastically reduce your grocery budget. This is written by the Common Sense Hub team. And this piece says how to save money on groceries might not be your first thought when you're trying to cut expenses. You might look at your rent or mortgage, your car payment, or the actual bills you get in the mail each month, but it's pretty common for food to be up there. But Janice, let's talk about that for a second. This piece has the word drastically in the title, drastically. Can you really make a big dent in that budget by looking squarely at your grocery bill?
Well, I hate the word drastically because it just sounds extreme. And I think whenever you're trying to do something extreme, it's not sustainable. So for me, I'm like, let's be strategic. I like the word strategic more than drastically because that makes me feel like we're just going to eat rice and beans every day.
Right. It sounds boring.
Right.
It sounds absolutely horrible. Like who wants any piece of that? Like, no, thank you. But people look at groceries, Len, and they think, well, I got to eat. Why focus on groceries versus another part of your budget?
Well, I think everybody can relate to groceries. I mean, that's something everybody does all the time. And it's kind of, maybe it's low-hanging, excuse the pun, fruit. So, that might be something.
You're all weak.
But seriously, I mean, it's an easy way to start focusing. It's a good place to start. If you don't know where to start at all, go ahead and start on your grocery bill. That's a great way to start.
Well, they mentioned here, Len, to your point, I mean, they mentioned housing. Auto is another one. Groceries, number 3. Think it's changing your house for a lot of people is very difficult. Like there's sentimental value. There's all these things. Some people are attached to their car. This seems to me, Len, to be of those 3 biggies, the easiest one.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's the low-hanging fruit. It's something you do every week. I think most people feel competent in that topic of food. Everybody feels that, they're an expert on food and they know where they can cut or at least try to start cutting. So, yeah, it's a comfort level, I think.
I'm an expert at eating food, but I look at like Janice's work and I'm like, if I could cook like that. I remember this client, OG, where their fish budget was huge back when I was a financial planner. They loved to eat fish, but they paid through the nose for it. And we actually put together a plan only because they couldn't retire the way they wanted to. We put together a plan for them to actually cut back on fish. But how often are you having granular discussions about grocery bills with clients? Is that something that happens in financial planning meetings?
Not in the least bit. Not in the last 20 years that I can remember. I don't know I thought there was a joke coming when you're like, so I had this client one time, had a fish
But based
budget.
on this piece, should we be diving more into the grocery budget?
I don't know. I think that there's ways to be smarter about it and have it work for you as opposed to showing up. I mean, some of the stuff is, you've heard don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. I mean, there's a very real thing. I was thumbing through this and I'm looking at all the pictures and I'm like, oh, blueberries look nice, but I just got done eating lunch. So I'm not super motivated by those things right now. But if I hadn't had lunch, I would be just thinking about blueberries right now. It's the first picture I see.
How hungry?
So.
How hungry were you when you only made it to the airlock and bought all the Girl Scout cookies?
Well, I wasn't. I was trying to buy some candies for Valentine's Day for my dear bride, and I lucked out. I didn't have to actually try to find them in the store. We bought Girl Scout cookies instead, all of them.
Janice, back to you. I just still can't believe you bought all the Girl Scout cookies. Like you just made those girls' day. I want them all. I don't think you understand what I mean.
I made the dad's day. He's like, I'm out of here, man. Sweet.
Janice, you and I when we spoke just a moment ago, people identify paying less and they think eat crappier food. But I would bet that for someone like you can get a little creative in the kitchen, and less expensive doesn't have to mean crappier.
Absolutely. No, I love kind of creating my own Chopped competition at home where I just try to figure out what meals I'm going to make based on the ingredients that I have. And it can be fun, but you have to be able to kind of know what to pair up. And that comes obviously with experience cooking. So I think a lot of folks have issues around substituting stuff because maybe they just don't necessarily understand what ingredients you can swap out. That takes some practice, right? But it's usually the case for me, and I don't know if anybody else can relate that. Grocery shopping in itself is so physically exhausting for me that by the time I've gotten home, I don't even want to cook what I made. And I end up ordering from from Uber Eats. And I'm just like, well, what the hell was the point of this? So I think, on top of finding ways to reduce the amount of money you're spending on groceries, you should probably find ways to reduce the time because that adds up too, right?
No, that's true. And by the way, once I get into cooking, I don't worry about the time because I got music on. Sometimes I'll pour a glass of wine and it's really fun, but it's the thinking about the time that makes me go, yeah, let's hop in the car and go down to, some restaurant.
Exactly. And especially if you're doing daily cooking. I mean, sometimes I'm not done with work till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And the last thing I'm going to do is get in the kitchen and go and make something. So it requires you to kind of have some forethought and planning. And I think that's one of the things they touch on in the article is just make a plan. Right? Because you're more likely to not have to make those spontaneous decisions.
Well, and there's something else you touched on that really got me excited, which is this idea of it's okay you got to start pairing stuff, and you talked about being experienced. Everybody starts with zero experience. I feel like people are afraid to, we're afraid to open Roth IRAs. We're afraid to check out the 401k, but we're also afraid to experiment in the kitchen, right? We're afraid we're just going to mess it up. But it seems like, is that how you learned to cook, was kind of messing it up?
Absolutely. I don't measure anything. The other day, my partner was here and I'm making rice and he's like, did you just pour rice into the pot without measuring it? I've never seen that before. And, that obviously comes with time. But my mom actually taught me how to cook because she started working full time when I was around the age of 11. And so I was responsible for coming home after school and kind of getting the family meal started while she was getting home from work. So I've always been in the kitchen. It's always a place that I find to be sort of a sanctuary because it forces you to focus, right? You can't be on the screen. You can't be doing a bunch of stuff. So it's a great way to disconnect. And it's definitely therapeutic for me. But I know a lot of people who hate cooking and it's the chore of it and the cleanup and,
That's why we have children.
Put them to work in the kitchen. Cinderella.
Yeah, put them to work. They got to do the dishes. That's fine.
Yeah, I like them cleaning up. I like making the food because it does, to your point, it just takes me out of my day. It just, you have to be there or something's going to burn. Len, Janice talked about not measuring stuff. I'm wondering, is the Italian cook here on the show, are you the same? Do you measure your stuff? Did you learn to be the great cook that you are by experimenting?
Yeah, I don't measure and I experiment a lot, which sometimes irritates the honeybee. She'll say, well, why did you change that? I make the same meal, but I'll change things around. It's because sometimes it works in your favor and things get better and sometimes it doesn't. But the only way you can improve is if you experiment every once in a while and change things around. And no, I only measure things exactly if I'm baking. That's why baking isn't quite as fun to me as just cooking.
I agree.
Because cooking, you throw stuff in and it's just a lot more fun. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if you heard the little ding in the background there, but my daughter just texted me with we do our menu planning and I let each of our kids, they get to pick 2 meals over a 2-week period each. And she just emailed me with her 2 choices for the next 2 weeks. So I don't know if you can see
her draft picks.
Yes, her draft picks right there. She just did it.
Sorry, spaghetti and meatballs has already been taken.
Well, she wants pulled pork sliders and tuna casserole on the menu for the next, over the next 2 weeks. So
wildly disparate taste buds.
Yes, that's what she's got. And so just out of coincidence, that just came in.
You should do those dinners at the same time.
Tuna casserole with sliders.
Yeah, pork and tuna casserole sliders.
Well, we do have a mashup day where we'll mix things up. So you could have
I hope
tuna
you
casserole
have an
sliders.
urgent care center nearby.
I can't believe that hasn't made it to any of your videos or anything, Janice. You haven't.
No, the tuna casserole thing freaks me out. I'm just like, who came up with this? This just does not sound appealing any way.
A lot of
you
people in
shape
the
it.
Midwest.
I guess.
Yeah. I would say you're not from Michigan, where we live on that
Yeah.
stuff.
No.
Frozen peas and egg
Y'all are
noodles.
from a different stock of humans. It's a different breed out there.
Where I grew up, if it's 100% bland, we're in. Like that is it. Oh, you can barely taste it. It's completely not
Pepperoni's
offensive.
a little spicy.
Let's make
pizza.
That's right. Let's make more of that. Len, before we go to our halftime break and our big trivia competition, I want to start with some of the highlights of this list. We'll link to it on our show notes so people can dive into all of these 12 ways that this piece talks about. But they begin with meal planning. And it sounds like, Len, meal planning is a number one to your success with food. True?
I think it's a big success. And I want to bring something up. I don't know if people think about this. I spent last year, I'll just tell you, my grocery bill for my family of four, keeping in mind I do have 2 adult children still here.
$9.
No, it was $17,101. That was all food that was purchased. That includes everything now. That includes chips, but that was the entire food bill for this household last year.
For a family of 4.
It is a lot of money, and there's a lot of places where you can cut. So that gives you opportunities for cutting. So I just wanted to point that out. But yes, planning is a very big part of it. And we are religiously plan. I mean, we have to. Other things, we would get way out of control with our spending.
Does that include restaurants?
No, that does not include restaurants.
Restaurants were another $53,000 on top of that.
Sounds about right.
I could look it up. I could tell you what the restaurant bill was. I
The
don't know it
4
off the top of
meals
my
Len
head.
made at home cost $17,000.
Off the top of my head, I can tell you we went out to a restaurant 68 times last year. I can tell you that.
Off the top of, I don't know, Janice, who's the bigger engineer? Do you keep track like Len does?
I absolutely don't. I really can't do the spreadsheet thing. That aggravates my agita. Can't do it. I don't want to know.
We're not worthy. Janice, what about you and meal planning? You do meal planning?
You know, I have to because I live alone. And if I don't plan, there's just going to be so many things that go to waste, right? Like everything that's packaged in the store is packaged for families. I will buy a pack of chicken and like that pack of chicken will last me the entire week. So I have to get creative on how I'm going to use it. But I do like to plan just because my schedule is so erratic and I'm not the type to want to go and have fast food. You know, my trainer would definitely kick my ass if I started doing that regularly. So I'm like, I have to plan and I feel better when I eat better, right? So it's also from the health perspective too.
Frankie Chilenza, chef that was on our show last year, and Andrea Warwick, who we spoke to just a few weeks ago on Instagram, the consumer finance expert. Both of them talked about a third of the food we buy ends up going in the trash. And so the food waste thing, man, having less food waste is a great meal planning. Just from that perspective makes it better. And I find that if I meal plan, Janice, with good food, I'm much more likely to eat it if it's allocated for a meal versus just filling
It's
the
true.
refrigerator.
I've thrown out way too many bagged salads that never got made. I just don't want to be that person anymore.
Yeah, me too. You feel bad, all those salads. I'm sorry, salad.
I'll try again next time.
Janice, we have that same problem in our house, and they go in the compost. And I think I just paid $4.99 to put something in my compost pile.
Right. Hey, I'm going to put this in my refrigerator for 2 weeks and throw it away for the $5. Yeah.
Does anybody eat leftovers? Because I save $2,000 a year eating leftovers. Luckily, my whole family loves leftovers. We actually have a leftover night once a week from all the other meals. We put them all together. And I figured it out. It saves $2,000. If we threw those leftovers away and didn't eat them, our food bill would be $2,000 higher.
Yeah.
I got that tip from you originally, Len. By the way, 1 day a week, Cheryl and I have leftover night. And it's planned that this is leftover night. Janice?
Yep, us too.
Yeah. I have leftovers for lunch pretty much throughout the week, just because when I do cook, I'll just cook in bulk. But my family hates leftovers. So I'm always yelling at them when I come over. I'm like, why is half of your fridge full of Tupperware that no one's ever going to touch? Like, you guys save it out of habit, but it never gets eaten. It's so frustrating.
Well, no, gee, I was going to ask you about leftovers. Does a family of 5 have leftovers?
Yes, only because we have increased the hamburger packets to 1.5 pounds instead of a pound, because of the boys. But I was looking to contrast this against Lanham's. Maybe it's just regional differences. Our grocery budget last year was just over $12,000, but we spent way more money going out to eat. That number is insanely large. Like, what did you say your going out to eat number was?
Your 12,000 includes restaurants?
No, it does not.
No,
it doesn't.
That's what he's saying. His number's lower, Len, but it's because they went out to restaurants a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah.
12,000 is his monthly restaurant budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12. We did 12 of each. So we had 12 in restaurants and 12 in groceries. But we do the meal planning thing. My wife is really big on that because she hates to throw food out. Like, she gets really annoyed when, the bag salad type deal or you get the pound of turkey. Everybody loves turkey sandwiches for a week and a half. And so you go, I got another pound of turkey. And then like 2 months later, you're like, what's this? Oh, this is turkey from October. What is that doing in here? Because everybody changed to peanut butter sandwiches, So we definitely do the leftover night as well. I mean, we have that scheduled, on the calendar. The one thing we don't do is let the kids pick, though. I like that idea. Like, have them pick 2 over the next 2. We're going to start putting that one in there.
At least they're going to eat those 2 meals if they eat nothing else.
You would think, but no, that's still not true.
Yeah, no, gee, we did that since our kids were like 5, 6 years old. Even when they were very little, we let our kids each pick 2 of the meals on the menu, which was kind of cool, actually, the things they
Melissa
would pick.
will ask, like, what do you guys want? Or what are we missing? Because my kids will eat all the time. They're, high school boys. So they're always eating.
When my daughter was little, she picked, and we would do it, was spaghetti tacos. That would be on the list probably once a month.
Spaghetti tacos.
That's what happens when you let a 5-year-old
another Midwestern
pick.
thing, huh?
I don't think so. He's a West Coast guy, Janice.
Okay. I don't know what's going on
that one.
It's just like a carne asada burrito, but a little different.
Coming up in the second half of this discussion, we're going to dive into many of the tips on this list, see if our panel agrees with them, and really what they do, like we heard already, us just starting to get into. Can't wait for that. But before that, we've got this year-long trivia competition, if you're new to Stacking Benjamins, which includes our 3 frequent contributors, OG, Len, and Paulette Perhatch, the brilliant writer Paulette. Janice, today you're on Team Paulette, which means good news and bad news. Do you want the good news first or the bad news?
Break the bad news to me first.
The bad news is you're in last place. So the score, OG is leading with 4, Len has 3, and Paulette has 2. But, Janice, you can make that. You can change all that. You can change the season right here. To find out how, we need a trivia question from Doug. Doug, you got a trivia question for us?
Sure do, Joe. Hey there, Stackers. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and we've already taken your breath away with the fact that it's Tuberculosis Day. All right, who put that joke in there? Look, to be clear, we're making fun of the holiday, not the affliction, the holiday. Tuberculosis is a serious disease costing people millions of dollars in healthcare costs. So here's today's question. How many new cases were there of tuberculosis in 2021? I'll be back just as soon as I see if this stupid calendar also has a hooray for Leprosy Day.
All right. There's our question, and I agree. Very serious disease. Hopefully, not that many cases. We're about to find out, Mr. OG, tuberculosis 2021.
What?
Tuberculosis?
Tuberculosis. I gave it my own.
You got to that there tuberculosis, don't you?
I gave it my own emphasis. Just had to
tuberculosis.
Emphasize
that's
the part that I like.
That's a whole new thing. Tuberculosis. Golly, to be able to just pull that right out, that was amazing. Is this worldwide? I didn't catch that part.
No, United States.
Domestic. Okay. So domestic cases of tuberculosis. I know that it's a real popular thing to catch on occasion.
Remember the TikTok craze of 2019?
Yeah. Yeah.
The tuberculosis challenge?
Cough on me here.
By the way, I am laughing because there's nothing funny about this at all.
We're fresh off a pandemic, y'all. This is still a trigger.
This is probably the worst trivia question we've ever had.
I do. So this is in 2022. Is this as recent as last year?
Oh, my God. Were you listening at all?
2021.
2021. Oh, yeah. That was the great tuberculosis outbreak of 21. I got to keep in mind. And the ratio of people.
You didn't read about it because the world was focused on a different thing.
Yeah. The answer is unequivocally in the United States, 897 cases. It was pretty low, but there was still a lot.
897. Mr. Penzo, is he low or is he high?
Well, that's not the question. He's just got to guess his own number. Don't give him any hints.
Well, that's a good question.
No, I think it's a bad question.
Well, I think OG is in. I think OG's in the neighborhood. I was hoping OG would just say, 2 million or something like that, because I think it's a low number. 800. Wow, that's like only 50 states. What is that? 16 a state. 16 people per state. That sounds pretty reasonable, actually. Do I want to take the low end of that or the high end of that? I'm going to take the low end. I'm going to say 799.
799. So, Janice, you got OG at 897, Len at 799. What do you think?
One of the things that I thought of immediately when you said tuberculosis, it's like, poo. Just the most random term that we could even be talking about right now is my mom and my dad, and basically all of my family members who were not born in the U.S. have this mark on their arm that I believe is an indent that's associated with the shot that you get for TB vaccination. And it's not really common in the U.S., so it's something that you can almost use as an identifier for somebody who wasn't born in the States. I'm assuming that we don't usually get vaccinated here for TB because it's just not really prevalent. But although I do remember testing positive in school.
Yeah. Would they have the mark, hold on, for TB, Len, or for polio? Is that a polio mark? I think it's a polio mark.
Well, smallpox, too.
Yeah.
That had the smallpox.
And polio. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're in the neighborhood, other crappy diseases.
Yeah, I don't want any of it. So, I don't really want any of it. But I do remember getting the tuberculin test because, I don't know, for some reason they were screening in school. I'm assuming it's like somewhere around 1,000 cases because it's not really a common vaccination. So it can't be that high.
She goes a little higher, goes to 1,000. All right. We got our answers locked in. 897 for OG, 799 for Len. Janice and T. Paulette, 1,000. We'll tell you in just a second who's right.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
Did you know Fast Growing Trees is America's largest and most trusted online nursery with thousands of trees and plants and over 2 million happy customers? Whether you're planting fruit trees, adding privacy, brightening things up with flowers, or bringing in houseplants, Fast Growing Trees has it all. Even better, they can help you find options that are right for your climate, your space, and lifestyle. Click Order Grow. Every plant arrives healthy with the Alive and Thrive guarantee straight to your door. So if you're ready to get planting, this is the moment. Right now, they have great deals on spring planting essentials, up to half off on select plants. And listeners to our show get 20% off their first purchase when using the code WWO at checkout. That's an additional 20% off. Better plants and better growing at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code WWO at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code WWO. Now's the perfect time to plant. Let's grow together. Use WWO to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. Go to growingfasttrees.com for details.
Oh, gee, you opened this up at $8.97 and got surrounded by other contestants, but you feeling pretty good there at roughly 900?
Definitely a shot in the dark. I remember hearing about it, and I thought it was a 3-digit number, but I can't be sure.
Oh, but Len is our local TB expert. I'm sure you feel much more confident at $7.99.
Well, I definitely have a bigger range than OG, but not as big a range as Janice, so I'm feeling pretty good.
That's what I was thinking, Janice. If it's $1 million, you win. You're still in, even if it is a lot.
I know. I kind of want to do like the Price is Right thing and be like, can I just bet $1? Can we do that?
Oh, well, it is very common. It's very common. Our friend Chelsea Brennan is a verb on this show because Chelsea likes to come on and go $1 higher than whoever the other guess is. So people get Chelsea Brennan all the time. But you were nice enough not to do that. You gave OG about 100 patients breathing room. Hopefully the number's close to 0, Doug, because we want very few people to have this. Yeah, you see that? All right, Doug, who's going to win this thing?
Hey there, stackers. I'm albuterol inhaler sharpshooter and free mouth-to-mouth giver, Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. I bet you're dying to know the answer to... Oh, my God. Okay, that was it. That was, I swear, that was probably the last one. Today's ridiculous holiday question about tuberculosis. Our question was...
Easy.
How many new cases of TB were there in the United States in 2021? Well, I can tell you this, that OG was only off by 6,985. Len was off by 7,083. Janice was off by 6,882, which means our answer was that there were 7,882 new cases of TB in the United States in 2021, and Janice/Paulette/Paula is our winner.
Aha! We have been redeemed. Go Team Paulette.
Nice.
What a prize to win.
That is. You need to write Paulette a note and say, hey, I took care of business. Yes. Fantastic. Congratulations. And
thank you.
Just don't ask us, Janice, what the prize is. It's time for us to move on.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
She's like, and pass. Let's go to the second half of this discussion instead. I want to go back to this piece, and now let's dig into this tactically. They talk in this piece, Janice, about having a freezer meal strategy. Do you have a freezer meal strategy?
Things get lost in my freezer, so I'm going to say no. I do a lot of kind of quarterly cleanouts, and, half the time the stuff that I freeze, I just never end up using. It kind of disappears. So unless you have a really good stacking system or some sort of cubicle organization system in your freezer, I'm just like, you don't need to freeze everything, especially if you're not going to use it.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week. We came up with this hamburger at the bottom, and we're like, I have no idea when this is from. And
right.
More stuff got thrown away. Oh, gee, do you guys have a freezer strategy with the family? Because you can, another thing on here later on is going to be buy in bulk. I would think it's much easier for you to buy stuff in bulk with a family of your size.
Yeah, we do buy the bulk stuff from Costco. We'll get the slab of meat and cut up our own steaks as opposed to buying the steaks, which I know is another one in terms of like anytime you get a package deal, you're probably paying to have somebody cut it up for you. But we will. If we're making like a lasagna or something like that, where it's just goes together better if it's a big dish of it, we'll make 2 separate dishes instead and put one in the freezer. So it's just an easy kind of pull out of the freezer type deal.
They do caution here. Another one of their points, OG, to your point, is they caution against prepackaged items. Len, this has been lenpenzo.com. You've talked about the horrors of buying prepackaged, like you're paying a multiple immediately when you pay for somebody else to cut it up.
Yeah, one of the biggest things on that is cheese. So if you get like shredded
You like
cheese,
to cut your own
prepackaged
cheese? Are you saying you like to cut your own cheese?
I do like to cut
come
my own
on.
cheese. Hold on a second. Okay, now that we've done that, no, but seriously, I think
I hope you're happy with yourself.
it's
Joe.
best to cut your own cheese. It's best to cut, like OG said, even the hams, the meats. There's a huge premium that you pay grocery stores to do that kind of stuff. And same with vegetables. You know what I see a lot of people buying is they'll go into the produce section, and you ever see these pre-cut fruit plates or these pre-cut vegetable plates, and you buy them for part. It's like, man, the markup on that for what you get, you could save probably 80% just by buying the vegetables yourself and cutting them up and putting them on a plate. But so many people, I mean, that has got to be a huge profit center for the grocery stores. It's crazy.
OG mentioned earlier buying in bulk, Janice, but if you live alone, I don't think, because, there's 2 in our house, buying in bulk doesn't work for us because that's when I start throwing stuff out.
Absolutely. When you go to those big box stores, I mean, the membership is going to cost you at least, $100-something. So for me, I can't even justify the cost of the membership because I'm never going to need 10 pounds of freaking lobster tails. Like, where the hell am I even going to put that, right?
A pallet of lobster tails.
Like, give me a break.
But I don't know about you, though. I still love going in. Like, I've gone shopping with Doug because Doug has a Costco membership. And man, just walking through that store, I'm like, this is fantastic. I should get a membership. And then
my parents take me all the time, and I'm just like, I feel like this store promotes hoarding. I'm not with it.
Wait a minute.
Who needs 17,000 rolls of toilet paper? Like, it's okay. Maybe during the pandemic it made sense, but not anymore.
Have you ever had Len's tuna noodle casserole?
Oh, God, no.
I'm going to give Janice a tour of my pantry and my garage.
Your bunker?
And then she'll see.
Yes.
Your prepper.
She'll see what hoarding is really all about.
Oh, boy. This is a slippery slope. It's funny because, Doug, you, I think, coined the phrase that I say all the time, which is there's the dollar store. And then, I think you call Costco the $100 store.
Oh, well, it was the $100 store 20 years ago when I joined. It's now the $350 store.
Facts.
You cannot get out of there for less than $350.
That's the fun game to play when you go and you're like, I just need to get a piece of salmon and a bag of potatoes or whatever, and then you're like, okay, so now I've got this cart full of stuff. How much did this salmon?
You have a big screen TV.
Exactly.
You got an inflatable jacuzzi. It's like, what just happened?
Janice, I was there yesterday, and I walked out of there with a 16-foot long tree trimming pole.
Cool. Obviously.
Duh.
In addition to the coffee.
Why would you
and
not?
the chicken breasts and socks and everything
and your
else.
slice of pizza from the little convenience place, like right at the door too, because you just bought all this food, but you definitely are not going to make any of it.
Right.
They mentioned here apps and using some of the grocery money-saving apps. Janice, you're nodding your head.
I am obsessed with Instacart. I started using it during the pandemic, and I just couldn't stop. I can't go back now at this point because, A, I'm lazy, and like I said, grocery shopping is exhausting. But also, it helps you see the price of what you're going to pay. So if I'm like, I don't want to spend $100 on groceries, I get to take a couple things off of that list. Because I feel like a lot of the times grocery shopping is like going to the doctor. You don't really know what the bill's going to be until it's too late, right? And you're just like, oh my God, I didn't really mean to spend all this money. So it definitely helps me cut costs because I can see the total before I check out.
Some grocery stores have their own apps. So, for example, we shop at Albertsons. Albertsons has, now they're expensive. If you just go into an Albertsons, I think the prices there are quite expensive. But if you use the Albertsons app, which we do, we get off usually 25% of our entire grocery bill just by using their app. So what you do is you pre-shop you put your list together and you get discounts when you put it into the app that you wouldn't get at the store normally. And so, for example, just last week, we spent $400. Our bill was $400, but we got $75 off just by using that app. I mean, that's pretty significant savings.
This doesn't have to do with food, but it has to do with items you bring home. Target. We were at Target, Cheryl and I, just this last weekend, and the woman at the register said, have you put these through the app? and they get on Cheryl's app together. And I think we saved on a $45 bill. I think we saved like $7 or $8, like a big amount just by putting them on the app. And by the way, these aren't marked anywhere at the store. It's just marked differently at the store than it is on the app, but they will price compare. If you put it through the app, they will, they'll take care of
you.
You
have to use the code, when you go grocery shopping, you have to put in your phone number or whatever. If you don't put in your phone number, you're giving easy money away. Just use somebody else's phone number. Like we talked about the 867-5309 number. Somebody uses that.
We did. We found that out, Janice, from a stacker at almost every grocery store. If you don't want to give them your number, give them 867-5309 and it works.
Oh my God.
And it works.
That's incredible. Speaking of the apps too, it's important to see if the store that you want to use on an app like Instacart is actually raising the price if you shop through them, because some of them will have equivalent pricing and some of them will actually charge you more for ordering through the app. So make sure that you check. It should say it at the top of the menu.
I've got two more on here I want to talk about, which is buy meat sparingly because it's so expensive. This is one I've heard about a lot, and I have yet to move on. OG rolls his eyes and scoffs at that one. He's like, you're not getting me away from all the meat at the table. But Leonard, Janice, have you guys cut back on the meat?
I had to cut back on eggs recently because, really, who is going to pay $7 for a carton of eggs? Eggs used to be the cheap protein, and now it's like a luxury, right? I'm like, I can't afford to have breakfast anymore. So I wanted to cut out meat more from like a health perspective versus just because it's more expensive. I tried the pescatarian thing, but as you know, Joe, fish and seafood is hella expensive. So I said, no, I'm way too broke for this. That pescatarian life is next level. But I try to kind of mix things up. I will buy the meat that's on sale. If one cut of beef is cheaper than the other and I can sub those out for recipes, I'm not committed to a specific type of meat. And I think it's just good to have that flexibility.
We do that at the fish counter, by the way. We'll find the one that's on sale and we will try it out. We tried turbo fish last week, which was really good. Huh. I think I prepared it incorrectly, but I learned it wasn't the fish. It was the stuff I put on it. I just need to do it different. Len, you guys cut out the beef at all?
No. That's
like,
we go through a lot of meat in our household.
But it's so expensive and it got so much more expensive during the pandemic. The last one on here, plant a garden. It says that this would lower your expenses. And Doug's saying no. Why are you saying no?
Strongly disagree. We did that a couple of years ago. We've done it on and off, but a couple of years ago, we went all in and built the raised beds, like 20 by 20 garden with deer fencing protection, the watering system, the whole thing. And I got to have a dinner's worth of green beans that cost me about $650.
and 6 months of attention.
Yes.
Our stacker community said the same thing in our Facebook group. They said, hey, it's better food. It tastes great, but it is not cheaper. Anybody else here try to do a garden?
I do the herb garden.
You know what? I do tomatoes.
I do herb
tomatoes
garden too. Oh,
tomatoes are they're so expensive and it's not really difficult to grow them as long as you can keep the squirrels and the rats and the other critters away from them. To me, it's worth if you're just going to plant one vegetable, and a tomato plant will push out a lot of tomatoes over a season.
Hold on. Are we going to let him just throw rats out there and we're just going to walk away from that like it never happened? We need to talk about the rats.
It's Southern California. What can I say?
Oh my God.
You shouldn't talk about your neighbors that way, Len. It's horrible. Man, not good. I do the herb garden as well. The herb garden's easy. It is cheap. And man, that mint grows like a weed. Basil.
Yeah.
Rosemary.
Mint, basil, and rosemary. I kill everything that's green. So those are the things that have worked for me.
Well, we're going to leave it right there, everybody. If you want to read this piece, 12 ways to drastically reduce your grocery budget, we'll link to it on our show notes page at stackingbenjamins.com. Let's find out what's going on where our roundtable participants live. OG, big plans this weekend, my friend?
Yeah, actually, this is a big weekend. Traveling a little bit out west, and then of course watching basketball because it's basketball tournament time. So
yeah,
yes,
big time of year for college basketball fans. We'll have our guest of honor go last, Mr. Penzo. What's going on at lenpenzo.com, my friend?
Hey, just out of coincidence, I talk about my grocery bills, and the main thing that I do that saves money and can save you up to 80%. Some of you out there up to 80%. So I go through some numbers.
Keep the rats out.
Yeah.
Keep the rats out. Or just eat the rats too. Maybe that's...
Tastes like chicken.
I'm afraid of the rats around here. So
you got to go to lenpenzo.com to find out. The rats even play a role in Len's thinking there. Janice, I'm sorry this happened this way.
It's okay. It's okay. Forgive you.
Thanks for joining us. So first of all, let's talk briefly. So what's something secret you can't tell anybody about that's coming up on the podcast?
Ooh, I'm going to have my mom and my sister on the show for the first time. So that's going to be fun because I'm roping them into the nonsense that I'm doing. They don't like, social media and being in front of people. So I'm going to make them very uncomfortable during the whole process.
You going to grill them?
It's my mission.
Just grill them with the microphones
absolutely.
on?
Yeah.
Turn the lights on hot?
Yes, absolutely.
You know what? We'll link to it again on our show notes page at stackingbenjamins.com. All right, man, that was fun. Well, except the part about TB. Besides that, it was pretty good. Doug, take us home, man. What should we have learned today?
Well, Joe, first, take some advice from our panel and get lower grocery bills by budgeting, avoiding the prepackaged stuff, and using technology. Second, in addition to finding ways to save on groceries, don't forget about looking for ways to save time at the grocery store and in your kitchen by planning your meals in advance. But the big lesson? Apparently, grazing in the produce section isn't socially acceptable. It's called taste testing, people. When did it become a crime to try before you buy? I mean, isn't that what singles bars are all about? Thanks to Janice Torres for joining us today. Be sure to check out her podcast, Yo Quiero Dinero, wherever you're listening to my melodious voice right now. We'll also include links in our show notes at stackingbenjamins.com. Thanks to Len Penzo for joining us today. You can find Len at lenpenzo.com/I-cut-my-own-cheese. Thanks also to OG for joining us today. Looking for good financial planning help? Head to stackingbenjamins.com/OG for his calendar. This show is the property of SB Podcasts, LLC, copyright 2023, and is created by Joe Saul-Sehy. Our producer is Karen Repine. This show was written by Lacey Langford, who's also the host of the Military Money Show, with help from me, Joe, and Doc G from the Earn and Invest podcast. Kevin Bailey helps us take a deeper dive into all the topics covered on each episode in our newsletter called The 201. You'll find the 411 on all things money at The 201. Just visit stackingbenjamins.com/201. Tina Eichenberg makes the video version of this show. Once we bottle up all this goodness, we ship it to our engineer, the amazing Steve Stewart. Steve helps the rest of our team sound nearly as good as I do right now. Want to chat with friends about the show later? Mom's friend Gertrude and Kate Yunkin are our social media coordinators, and Gertrude is the room mother in our Facebook group called The Basement. So, say hello when you see us posting online. To join all the basement fun with other stackers, type stackingbenjamins.com/basement. Not only should you not take advice from these nerds, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, speak with a real financial advisor. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and we'll see you next time back here at the Stacking Benjamins Show.
Welcome to the after show. This is the part of the show that doesn't exist. And if you're here for money discussions or more grocery discussion, we're done with that. Join us again on Monday for that, because sometimes we talk about movies. Sometimes we talk about weird news. Today, I want to talk about this. We talked a lot about saving money, but this time I want to have the kind of the opposite discussion. I know that there are some restaurants that I go to where, you know, I don't brag about the fact that I go to them, but they're like my guilty pleasure. Like, you know what? Nobody needs to know, but I'm going to this restaurant. Maybe I'll sit in a corner booth alone where nobody can see me. And I absolutely, you know what? And while I don't maybe love it, it's a place I go back to. It's like my place. I'm wondering if you guys have those. I'll tell you what mine is. And this is really horrible, especially with the Italian in the room. Len, we like going to our Olive Garden. Like, we just really, really enjoy getting the soup and salad at the Olive Garden. And sometimes every once in a while we get crazy and we get one of these made up Italian word dishes where, you know, there's people in the back throwing the crap in the microwave. Like, you go in there knowing it.
Well, you know what? I think there's a 12-step program for that, Joe, but that's okay. To each his own, I guess, you know.
Well, but I'm sure you've got one too. Everybody knows about your Benihana fix like you're 12 years old.
I was just there yesterday again, actually, yes. But I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty going to Benihana. Now, here's one where I don't want anybody to catch me. I love the place. It's Taco Bell. I love it. I admit it.
That is terrible.
I mean, you give me a chalupa, a couple chalupas and a Mexican pizza, and I'm good. I mean, that's just...
And a Code Red Mountain Dew?
Sure. We used to go a lot. And then you know what happened, though? And if you're listening, anybody there at the Taco Bell district office or corporate office, please take heed here. We used to go a lot more often, but you guys discontinued the green sauce, and the honeybee just disowned you guys once you got rid of that green sauce. So bring the green sauce back, and I will go more frequently.
It's a true Taco Bell aficionado right there.
They probably do call it just green sauce also. Because they can't really use the actual term because it would be false advertising.
It's like that from that Disney song, like, try the green stuff, it's delicious, because nobody knows what the hell's in it.
Gray.
Right?
Gray stuff.
Oh, it's the gray stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Janice, you've got one.
I do. I was going to say Taco Bell, but...
You were going to say Taco Bell.
I was, but also Red Lobster. I feel like Red Lobster is like the place where my family would go when we were just like living life, right? Like the tax refund came in. We're like, yes, we're getting like extra biscuits, right? It was like the fanciest thing you could do. You know, they make their baked potatoes with like a salt crust. It's just so like pinkies up bougie, but I also will never go there with anybody. It's embarrassing, especially now that you can buy the box mix to make the biscuits.
The biscuits.
But they don't come out the same. I feel like they literally dunk them in butter at the restaurant. I feel like I just need to dump them in a tub of butter and maybe they'll taste the same.
Oh, I think they taste almost identical. I think they're great.
Oh,
yes.
I need your tips then.
I actually know the reason why they usually taste different. I came back from a trip to Italy and asked our local wine guy, I said, how come I get wines from your store and they taste okay, they're all right, but then I have it in Italy and that same wine is fantastic? He's like, because you're sitting in the middle of Venice, right? Because you're in Rome with a glass of wine. So the answer is, Len, because Janice is sitting by the huge fish tank with the
dozen biscuits.
Right?
Not my highest moment.
The Kenny G playing and the ultimate feast spread out in front of her.
Hey, when you were in Italy, did you stop at the Olive Garden in Italy? In any of the?
Can you put? That's the only place.
The Piazza di San Marco. You can't miss it.
It's right. Wouldn't that be horrible? You're in the middle of.
It's right by the Trevi Fountain. I saw it.
Just around the corner.
Wouldn't that be a great picture? Hello from Italy, and you get the Olive Garden in the background.
All right, I can't. Going back to Taco Bell, I can't let this moment go because one of my favorite comedians talks about Mexican food. So we gotta do that.
I used to be a waiter in a Mexican restaurant, which is kind of silly because I am Dominican, you know. And I love Mexican food.
Indiana.
It's actually all the same ingredients, but as a waiter, you'd have to deal with those stupid questions. You know, people would be like, "Hey, what's nachos?" Nachos? That's tortilla with cheese, meat, or vegetables. What's a burrito? Tortilla with cheese, meat, or vegetables. What's a tostada? Tortilla with cheese, meat, or vegetables. What's a taco? Is this that hard to follow? Like it's all the same.
That's great.
Gaffigan. OG, your restaurant of choice?
Yeah.
Your guilty pleasure?
French Laundry.
Right.
He sits in the corner of the French Laundry.
El País in Spain.
I don't.
The list could go on. La Barnadine in New York City.
I don't want anybody to see me with Thomas Keller, that loser.
I know. Yeah. We have a very small circle of places that we will go because I am not very adventurous. So I do not like to be disappointed. And so once I have found something that I like, I refuse to try something else for fear of the fact that the other place will suck and I will be very angry the entire time.
And we don't want to make OG angry. I think that's the lesson here. Don't make OG angry.
If I had to pick a place, I think Culver's is a place that I don't want to be caught.
Oh, that's good ice cream, man.
Well,
you feel terrible after, like butter dripping down your chin. It's like you're just not going to feel
except
good.
the ice cream. But that's the point. Is like it's not ice cream. What is it? It's custard. So we'll have that
higher fat content.
But like the floor is always sticky. It there's just always a lot of like stuff going on where I'm just like, this is such a classy joint.
No, you're making this up. I do not like your disparaging comments about my Culver's.
Culver's was about to sponsor the show, OG, and now you talked about the
I'm
sticky
just saying
floors.
I wouldn't want to be caught dead there.
The floors are never sticky. They're very focused on cleanliness. Very friendly staff.
100%. Staff is great. And for us in particular, because my son has a peanut allergy, they're very accommodating to the peanut allergy, which is just such an amazing thing. It's hard. Most people just go, sorry, guess you can't eat here, bruh. But so they do a good job. But yeah, the food doesn't look appealing and everything's sticky. Good. So I just,
so good.
Just eat my ice cream.
I was out west recently, and I did a taste because I'm such a Culver's fanboy, and I did a taste test between an In-N-Out burger and a Culver's. No comparison. Culver's kicks the shit out of In-N-Out.
Really?
And he only had like 4 minutes between the taste tests. He had both in hand.
Yeah, I was double fisting it, going back and forth, and there was no comparison.
In-N-Out's just a lot of hype, I think. They just have a really solid marketing strategy.
Okay, we got to end this show before a fight breaks out. Janice, I liked you so much, and now you got to go.
Oh, man. This was fun. Thank you for having me.